Did you all know that we actually are supposed to have certain kind of powers? That was actually what was supposed to happen, like as we moved through into 5G and things like that, 5D actually. But see, they took control of things for a while at least. And then they're deciding who gets powers and who gets to be in their like. But see, there's certain things that they can't take from you. They can for a little while, your voice and your ability to speak to people and your ability to have empathy and compassion. And they think that they can really, really destroy it. Empathy and compassion actually seems to be like not everybody has it. Like my husband used to tell me when there are things that I talked about, he's like, well, it's easy for you. Well, it's because it naturally comes to me. So it's just something that had to naturally stay. Now, if they can control the other things that were supposed to naturally come to you and other people, as groups of people woke, and they like to use that as a derogatory term, but as people wake up, I mean, Jesus was woke, right? That's what they say. So, and I'll just use him for reference since that's such a easy way for people to go and they'd be like, oh, it's so right. But then that's like, I'm supporting that he, whatever. Not that I don't have love for the guy. Not that I don't believe that there was a man. But discernment. So, yeah, there were things that we were supposed to naturally come into for ourselves. And they're deciding who gets what because they have control over it. Which is why, again, control over DNA. They don't have control over it forever. And naturally, those of us that were stayed connected to actual true source, and I'm not saying that like it's nobody's fault. It really, I mean, ultimately it's the great deceiver's fault. But and people are going to have to actually really think about the fact that they could have control of our futures when you're thinking about AI and you're thinking about 5G and all of that. Like, this is an actual thing that people have to be open to the idea that this is a thing, because otherwise you're just going to continue being pulled through their prison system. And the whole goal is like we were all supposed to get to a point where we understood that's what's going on. And then when we finally get to that point, it's going to be like, well, what do we do now? Well, I mean, we had it figured out, but ego got in the way again. Pride. The idea to work together. To fix what was screwed up. Well, like it just became a big stupid thing because, well, ego's a big stupid thing. And people don't want to believe other people are telling the truth, or they'll say you're a liar just so that they can continue their facade and stuff like that. And it's just, but anybody who knows me, I'm really big on trying to be as honest as I possibly can be. Because I don't see a point in not I, for the most part, I do the whole treat people as you would like to be treated until they finally push me to a point where I'm like, all right, now I'm going to treat you like you treat people. Which I think is only fair, because that's why nice people get taken advantage of. And it's not like I think I'm the nicest person in the world, but I try to keep patience that everybody's learning and on a different level. And when people tell me certain things and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can see what you're talking about, then I try to adjust that about myself for people because, okay, I can see where that was. Or if I even see it in myself, and it may not even be something they saw, but if I see it, then I would try to go back and like apologize, and people would be like, I don't know what you're apologizing about. But anyways, so, and then that gets all worked, right? They use that. But if you watch Stranger Things, how it works on like your shame and stuff like that. Obviously, shame isn't a thing anymore. Holy crap. I mean, look at what men look on their phones when they're sitting in a restaurant with people around them. Or on their couches with their family sitting in front of them. I wonder what people would be trying to hide what they've done. Yeah, lust is ruining families. And I didn't used to be like, I didn't really think about sin and virtue and all of that. I just kind of tried to move through life, um, self reflecting on things that happened around me and myself, and trying to see, how somebody would actually just, and again, something that my husband's told me, well, it's just easy for you. It just, yeah, it comes naturally. And I understand that doesn't come naturally for other people, which is why I try to be patient with other people. But at some point, patience does kind of wear thin for waiting for somebody to stop treating you like crap. But I don't know, I guess I'm there after everything that's happened in the last 2 years. I just wanted to do something really great. It started with the fact that I really wanted a car dealership, which sounds to a lot of people probably like, what could you do with a car dealership? I don't know. I just thought about the fact that, we could have a place where people like to show up to work every day, and it was, you got paid good, and it wasn't stressful, and I just had ideas. And then it kind of kept moving from there. And the more that I wanted to do for people, and I incorporated like what I wanted to do for people, it's like the whole idea. It's kind of how it's supposed to work. It's just supposed to grow that way. But when that happens too, it opens channels for spiritual attacks you didn't realize, because then people are like, oh, you're wanting to do too much, you can't do that. Or you're not doing it our way, you can't do that. Or you're not listening to what we want you to do, you can't do that. Because it's not their way. It's not the old way of thinking on how things should be done. Or it's just that, the world was moving in a really terrible direction and something needed to happen very quickly. So then Source was like, wow, like, we gotta get moving. We gotta do this. And then, of course, the other side was like, nope. Stop. My husband said to me, he's the block in my life. I'm realizing that. But the problem is he shouldn't be the block in mine. And I don't want to be the block in his. And I never wanted to be the block in his. I was actually always trying to be really supportive of everything he wanted to do. How many jobs he changed was whatever. I stayed consistent in what I was doing. Until one day I couldn't anymore because he wasn't supportive in the home, and it just all went crazy. And then they'll say I went crazy. I didn't go crazy. I'm sitting here talking to you right now. I'm not crazy. I'm just understanding the way the world works. And have been for a while, but for a while there, man, really threw me when the things that happened in my life happened, which now I understand why they happened. Things that were said to me are all coming together, understanding what it is, until they, throw another mass, right? The masses. And, what is it? Again, so, back in the 40s, they said that you needed to protect one man. Well, when you do that to one man, I bet his head gets really big. And then he genocides a lot of people. And then, of course, they'll go in and they'll take over those bodies that they can or that they need, so that they can go and steal other futures. I wonder how they would do that. Might have something to do with diseases and stuff like that. Maybe. Super Bowl is coming, though. Like my husband said in another video, it's their last name. Yeah. Why would they try to kill love? Why would they traumatize love so bad?